Hello to you all, and welcome to Pyramid Energy. I'm going to do a reading for the collective, but before I do that, I just want to let you all know that the simple thing of asking you all to like the video has actually made a difference. I avoided it for so long. This is over 2 years that I've had this channel, and I could explain to you the reasons why I don't like doing it. But I now like doing it because it feels good to see the impact of it. So even if you don't finish the video, please, will you like it? I always laugh at myself when I'm roaming around YouTube. I like every single video that I watch as I enter. And I realize that it's because I'm a content creator, and so I have an appreciation for it. I find it crazy that they even have a dislike button, because from where I'm standing, when I really do not like a video, I feel like my voice has been heard when I just deliberately not like it. It's like my protest. And I know that some people don't even think about it and often forget. So that's why I'm going to put it in the beginning. Love you all lots. Let's get into the reading. Every day I think to myself, why don't you try other cards? Because, I have other cards, but I keep getting drawn back to this deck. I don't think it's even just the art. This deck has seen me through so many seasons of my life and journey through reading. Okay, we have the Chariot at the center. This is your energy. This is interesting because the Chariot has been coming up in various areas, and given my read on all those other spreads, having it here at the center is telling me that you are in gear, you are in momentum, you are moving forward. This is not about the speed. It's more about your consistency, your temperament, your feeling on what's to come. And I also have 222 on the clock that I just saw. And in yesterday's reading, I mentioned 2222. I think I had 5 2s. Okay. And so this is telling me that you are having more frequent check-ins with yourself, checking in on where you're at, how you're feeling, and you're noticing that more often than not, you're not needing to make an effort to feel a certain way. You are also not feeling critical of where you are. The optimism has picked up. This is different to how I usually find your energy. You've lowered your expectations. The level that I'm seeing you're at this level where it's difficult to move you out of your balance. Okay, so you're not easily shifted out of balance. That's what I mean. Usually, you're working on becoming more optimistic, okay, or allowing yourself to just feel the way you're feeling in that moment. I'm finding you at a balance. You're not even making that much of an effort to self-protect. Defensiveness is down. Confidence is up. In the area of what's crossing you, I have the Knight of Wands. This is interesting, okay? So this is telling me, when someone's like either walking very quickly behind you while you're walking forward, and so you feel under pressure to keep walking at their pace even though you can't see them so that they don't trip you up. So I'm seeing you a little bit concerned about your pace. You don't want to move too quickly. You don't want to rush, but you don't want to slow down because you don't want to lose the spot. I'm hearing your spot in the queue, which tells me that, the optimism is somewhere else right now. You're not gripping to it. You're not clinging to it, but you're not just hoping for the best. You're expecting what is due to you. You're expecting only what you're ready for. Okay, so you haven't measured anything, This is just your mindset and your temperament are in such a good place. I want to describe it as easy to please and hard to disappoint. That's how I'd put it. I'm also feeling so much creative energy, like a light flame has been lit from inside of you. Okay? It's interesting, this balance. It's like when you're taking a bath, one of those relaxing ones, and the water is just at the perfect temperature, but take too long and it gets too cool, and too hot and it gets uncomfortable. It feels like that, but I see you actually enjoying keeping your balance. In the recent past, I have the Two of Cups, which is telling me that you're coming through a time where, and I have the 10 of Wands underneath the deck, you're coming from a time where you have been having more conversations with yourself around, this gratitude for life. I'm hearing, thank God that I'm here. Thank God that I am healthy. And I'm also hearing not everything is perfect with your health. I'm not a medical health professional, okay? So please listen with caution and consult with appropriate people where necessary. Not everything is right with your health, but there's an awareness of what has put your health at risk and a commitment to not serve that, a commitment to serve your health, your well-being, your balance, okay? This Two of Cups is also giving me like relationship energy. This doesn't need to be a relationship between you and another person or a lover or anything. Take this as it resonates. But your relationship energy in your life, your relationship with things, activities, people, dreams, okay, and individuals, has an energy of accepting that things are the way they are right now, for a reason or according to what it is you need right now, whether that is peace or a lesson, whatever it is that it holds, you're at peace with where it's at. But also widely awake and alert and aware of your own responsibilities. This includes holding on to the things that enhance your experience, the things that you love and care for, and letting go of the other things. I felt my throat closing down a little bit there. The things that you are letting go of, you are not communicating these to anyone. I'm also getting a sense that this is very much an internal experience that you're going through. You're not telling anyone how you're feeling. You're not telling anyone your good news. You're keeping that peace with yourself. What's coming up for me is like a tree as it moves through its seasons. It does not announce when it's about to shed. It doesn't announce when it's growing or flourishing. It just is. In your surrounding factors, I've never pulled the devil in reverse. I've never seen it like this. It feels so deliberate. It's clarified by the Eight of Cups. This speaks to the absence of confusion, fear, doubt, all of these things. That balance is also around you. This card, especially yesterday, and I hadn't pulled it yesterday, not during the reading, just in the background of my energy, I picked up something around the devil and temptation. And so to see it here, I'm seeing that there is no temptation to fall for things that do not work. Okay, so this speaks to you, and your surrounding energy is reflecting yours. You're reflecting each other. This is very good energy in general so far. I feel like you are currently mirroring your surrounds, the aspects that you want to nurture. You are in the energy of creating your situation for yourself. And you're at ease doing that because of the Chariot, because of how you're feeling. Okay, just that sense of peace. You're at ease with where you are. And I just want to point out that this is ideal in the way that I'm picking it up. In that, because you're not easily disappointed and you're not, you're not difficult to please, okay? With that sort of middle ground in terms of expectations, you realize that you're not susceptible to huge waves. Okay, so something could come up. Of course, life happens. Something could come up. And so we're talking about your current energy, but this is more around a lesson you've learned. This is more around your hold over your experience. And so from here, should you trip, should something interrupt you, your comeback or your bounce back or your rebound, whatever that is for you, will not be as doubtful, okay? Because the reasons around your trips and your falls and whatever happens before, you used to assign a lot of meaning to those events. And assigning a lot of meaning to these events, the result of that is that they sort of grow meaning in your life. They start to take up more space, these reasons, these fixations. They start to define your experience. And so because you've deregistered from those meanings, your experience has become more steady, more flexible. At the top of mind, I have the Star and the Six of Pentacles. Just in this zone, I'm picking up with the Knight of Wands and the Chariot, lots of purple and orange, which is amplifying this creative energy that I'm sensing, that's sacral chakra and third eye chakra. And so these are nicely in balance with each other in terms of how they're working together. And so I'm seeing an uptick in your sensuality, in your calm. You're much more in tune with the activity in your body, and you're feeling grounded. And because you can feel the movements inside your body, like throughout your core is what I'm picking up. Anything moves, you're in touch with it. You could almost feel where each movement is. Because of that, you are inside your body, which means that what you're actually projecting from and into your third eye is being filtered at a great balance. So this is a very long-winded way of saying that your intuition right now is spot on. Your nervous system has settled. Okay? Your nervous system has actually settled. And so when you are sensing stuff, your filter of your intuition is calm. You are not, okay, so I recognize that you're still sharp. Your intuition is still sharp under pressure, but you're not under pressure. And so I wouldn't call it sharp right now. I'd call it balanced. And I just want to go a bit more into this. And I don't know why I'm doing this, but let's do it. When I say it's not sharp, when you're under pressure, there's a level of paranoia that you recognize is in the air. And so you still, as a high priestess, let's say, even though the card has not come up, as an intuitive individual who sees through everything, okay, and even when you cannot see, you can see that something is concealed, okay, detective you. What happens is that when you're in high vigilance mode, you have to sort of work at bypassing your paranoia and recognizing and telling yourself and reminding yourself that your first instinct is your correct one and that you are not wrong just because it's a difficult situation. And so this is like unsettled nervous system, body feels tight, head feels a bit foggy. And so you can still find your way around. But life doesn't have to be that way, and I'm seeing you in that space where life just does not have to be that way, and thank God. I'm seeing that, this appreciation I spoke of earlier, the gratitude in the Star and the Six of Pentacles. I'm seeing you really appreciating this healing energy. And these cards are also confirming for me the optimism that I spoke about. The star is giving me this energy of the healing energy of dreams coming back to life, not needing all the answers, but knowing which star you're going to follow. Not necessarily the return of hope, but the return of inspiration. And even if you cannot see what is inspiring you, okay, what inspires you, it's like you just feel inspired. In your subconscious, I have the 6 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Pentacles. The 6 of Cups with the 6 of Pentacles that we've got at the top speaks to me, about this 369 and the 6 representing stabilization. Stabilization comes after balance, being 3, and stabilization comes before materialization, which is 9. And yet that's the spot you're in. That's the sweet spot. And together, these 3 cards, especially with the star and the 6 of Pentacles at the top, what you have in your subconscious is thoughts like, what else do I need to put in here? You're being very mindful of your intentions. You set them. You're not sharply focused on them, but that's there, okay? But I also sense your dreams really strongly returning. The 6 of Cups, again, being my karma card, it's been coming up quite a lot. Just because I've been saying those words a lot, I realize. But this is you bringing your dreams back to life. This is you going to that box that you had put away that was starting to become a little bit painful to even remember or open. This is you pulling the box out, wanting to be reminded what is in that box. The box of dreams. The box of things you almost thought were not going to happen. And you're not overly set on those dreams. You're very flexible about those dreams. But the point is that you're actually looking at the dreams and you're wondering whether you still want the same things you used to want. And so you're reviewing your dreams now. And so now you are riding the feeling, but not riding the dream itself. There are also lots of children and dogs just within these cards, which is speaking to me in terms of what you're reviewing about your dreams, about ideas you had about family life, ideas you had around what stability means, the kinds of relationships you want in your life. I see that you used to have a certain sort of vision around this, and you're revisiting it, given who you are today, to yourself and your relationship with yourself. You've just recognized that some of those dreams that you had, aspects of them may actually be obsolete and no longer be, seen as ideal by you. Your actual ideals have shifted, and not to accommodate your reality, but to accommodate your needs. In your near future, there's a lot going on with these 3 cards, the 3 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Cups. Okay, so these 3s are speaking to me about balance. Okay, and so there's some things that you're going to be wanting to bring into balance. These are some things that you're calling in to bring you into a balance that you desire. Okay, it's speaking to me about collaborations, things that you're going to be working on to turn certain things around. Okay, so you have accepted certain things in your life the way they are. However, you're going to be working on improving them. And so this is speaking to me more around, there's a sense of intervention here. I'm picking up intervention. I believe it is self sort of propelled intervention. Okay, like things that you are going to be doing, things that you're going to put your time and effort and money into, is what I'm seeing. Expecting something back. Again, no high expectations. It could actually also you be putting your time, effort, and money into things that simply make you feel better, not necessarily expecting a return of time, money, and resources, for example. So this is more around you going to be shifting your gaze towards some new stuff, some improvements, some enhancements for your general sense of well-being, peace, direction, and evolution is what I'm getting. I'm also getting the message that you are no longer going to keep yourself waiting. This is reminding me of the message that came through earlier about losing your spot in the queue. Okay, you are holding your spot in the queue, and this queue is moving. Okay, and so you don't know when you'll be at the front of the queue, and this is not so much around a destination, it's more around a frame of mind and a feeling. Okay, something else that I said earlier, I said the word evolution, things that you're going to be doing towards your evolution. And so this is speaking to me around setting expectations, let's say, for your life. There's no actual target. You're not seeing an actual target. What you're seeing is a gradual maintenance of a feeling and a state of being, okay, of yourself internally and your surroundings. And so you're not expecting, the other day we spoke about a revolving door in like maybe the last 3 readings or so, a revolving door, and the idea that you enter through one side and exit through the other, and you were sort of looping for some time within the revolving door, okay, within it. And so this is not so much I'm expecting to walk in one person and exit another person, a completely different person overnight. It's not so much that. Gosh, I had to pause there just to consider this imagery and its meaning because I felt a bit left in the lurch there. But when I consider this revolving door experience, it also reflects this 369, okay? Because it has these 3 positions. You could either be on the one side of the door or the other side or within the door. And I'm very much seeing the 369. And you spent a lot of time within the revolving door in this stabilization phase. And I feel like that's why it felt so intense. And we did touch on that it was deep, intense, almost making you feel like maybe you're stagnant, but there were a lot of lessons that you were absorbing. Okay, a lot of things that were being filtered out of your life, a lot of flashbacks of the past, of painful experiences, to really figure out what had you left behind in past lessons that you're needing to like clear up now before moving forward. And so when I say that you're not within the door and you're not expecting to just pop out a different person on the other side, what I mean is that this 369, this Tesla model or whatever we call it, is more a continuous thing. You could be holding the 3 and the 9 and the 6 all at the same time, or the 3 and the 9, and not feeling the 6 so much, because there are so many sort of facets of your experience and things you're working on and the way you're feeling. And so if you're constantly manifesting, what you're looking for is this gradual but constant and maintained feeling that you're in all of these 3, the 3, the 6, and the 9. You're initiating new experiences. You are stabilizing experiences already initiated and watching some of those things that you have initiated and stabilized in the past materialize. And so you on 369 is kind of either what you're after or what you're in. And I'm feeling like you're in all of these 3. And I've been feeling this 369 a lot in this reading. I haven't seen any 9s in the actual reading. I picked up on some 9s in the past couple of readings, but here I'm seeing mostly 3s and 6s. But already, if you can appreciate that the 3 plus 6 does equal 9, that is to say that if you are holding 3 and 6 already at the same time, and I've got the 6 of Swords underneath the deck, if you've got 3 and 6 at the same time, that in itself is a manifestation. What you have manifested is the balance and the stabilization and the maintenance of them. That in itself is a manifestation. You've manifested peace and maintenance, a steadiness of growth. And the Six of Swords tells me that you have left one place and you're on your way to another. You're well on your way in the area of what you want the most and fear the most. I've got the Empress, the Eight of Wands, and the Page of Swords. When I saw the Empress, I was like, what are you afraid of here? The Empress. I keep saying Empress. I wonder why. It's giving me like sort of temperance. And I said it twice, Empress. So this is what you're afraid of, okay? Even though you really want to be in this Empress energy, feeling safe, feeling, it's like productive, like you're generating the things that you need, full of energy. I'm seeing that also in the Eight of Wands. You are sort of struggling to figure out how you're going to explain yourself. Okay, what I mean by this is you're expecting a different outcome out of yourself. You're expecting a shift, a visible shift. Okay, and you're trying to manage that. You're trying to manage that so that it's not too drastic. You don't want to hold yourself back, but you don't want to shock yourself or others. Because you know that this is going to throw you off. This is taking me back to that secretive energy we talked about when we touched on the Two of Cups, where we talked about how you're keeping this to yourself. This is interesting. Often when something happens for you, you really want to share it, whether it's stress or whether it's, joy or like a good feeling or a positive expectation. You try so hard to hold it back to yourself. And then you either end up sharing it or you generally do end up voicing it, is actually how I'm sensing this. You generally end up expressing it. But in this situation, you've recognized that when you do that, it's an opportunity for you to be thrown off. And not just that, this just feels like a very private experience. It feels like you just want to protect it, like your little newborn baby. You like want to just protect it. And something else that I heard when I saw the Empress was like, you're creating a monster. It sounds terrible. But what it actually means is that you're expecting a type of shift and a type of growth that is going to make you so hard to mess with. I feel like you're already hard to mess with, but people tamper, okay? People test you, okay? People try. They do. They do, and you know that they do. They know that they do, and you know that they do. But now you almost feel a sense of like slight pity for them that they won't be able to. They're going to be something about this. I'm laughing a little bit here because something about, what you're sensing and your what you want the most and fear the most, which we need to recognize, sits in your third eye. Okay, so any part of this whole thing is part of your creation, this whole spread. Okay, if it's in your awareness, you're creating it. Okay, and there's something about what you're becoming and what you want to become and what you're actively working on that is going to make it very difficult to tinker around with you, because they could get like, what do you call it? What do you call it when you touch something that's sort of like got a little bit of electricity in it? Why is the word not coming to me? Shock. Shock. They're going to get shocked. And it's like one of those things where even if you touch a blanket that's static, okay, so you've got that static. You're expecting that when people try to tinker with your touch, they're going to have that sort of where it's unclear whether it actually happened. And the only person who experiences it is the person who gets shocked. It's not loud, but it's there. In your outcome, I've got the Sun. This is a wonderful card. This is things being revealed. It actually fell on its side. And so what I'm seeing as an outcome here, because essentially when you look at the outcome of something, and given that we've been talking about your life, okay, because I do feel like this is a milestone in your life, this reading. When I think about it lying completely upright, that would sort of be what we haven't been talking about, being everything being revealed to you at once as an outcome because there is no end to your experience the way you are sensing into it. Okay, I mean that obviously not your entire life, that will eventually end, but I just mean things are going to start to be revealed to you. This is so positive, and I feel like it speaks to the nature of this gradual experience, this gradual revealing of your materializations. And under the deck I have the wheel. And so this is, again, this momentum that you're building and a sense of completion. The wheel is number 10, of a cycle in your state of being and your motion. For clarity, I pulled the 5 of Pentacles and the Strength card. Initially, when I saw the 5 of Pentacles, I just thought, can you give me some clarity? Because right next to the sun, this doesn't make a lot of sense. But what I'm seeing here is, again, speaking to your evolution and this closing of this cycle, is there are things that you've been wanting to set right in your life. And we spoke about them as well with the 5 of Cups in reverse. These are the things that are going to be shifting, and you're going to start to see the revealing of certain outcomes, that you can actually see. Okay, this is materialization. There have been a lot of pentacles in this reading, which also speak to me about the material world. And the Strength card, what it brings in with the sun, this is a lot of fire, and it speaks to me about how you'll be identifying with yourself differently. Okay, so I'm seeing a shift in your identity, no longer identifying with this 5 of Pentacles energy, not necessarily identifying with a complete shift to the opposite side of the revolving door, where you just suddenly like 10 of Pentacles out of nowhere, okay? But actually an appreciation for the shifts that you've gone through and all of your experiences. And I feel like this is going to be the most grounding aspect of your outcome. And I use that word outcome lightly, again, because there's no end point to this journey. A different relationship with your journey. And there's something that, a word, you earned this experience. Like you've earned this return. The word earn has kept coming up, and I couldn't put it into context yet, but it's landing now. And this is around everything that you are growing will have been earned through your journey, okay? And this for me is touching on a bit of what I said about just loving this deck and how it's seen me through so many seasons. You are the witness of your life, and so you now have a different appreciation for your experiences. And this earned word is speaking to me a lot about karma. You're recognizing that even your more difficult experiences, those too were earned. And I say that with the most love and respect, given that I do not know all of your contexts. But if we consider that we are creating our own lives and that we create our experience, you earned those experiences, and therefore you earned all of this positive as well. And so nobody will ever be able to take either away from you. And so I hope that you understand what I mean when I say those words. I'm going to leave this message here. Turned out longer than I expected it to, but here we are. Sending you all so much love.